So it was probably about a year ago that I discovered that the location that Sophie and her friends call Elysian in Stellarlune was foreshadowed back early in Book 2 of Exile. I started noticing this when I noticed similarities in the text written in both Stellarlune and in Exile. From Exile chapter 27, when Sophie pushed her thoughts into Prentice's mind, and the description of Elysian, the location, in Stellarlune. The interesting thing is in chapter 16 of Stellarlune, Orly, Dex, and Sophie are viewing Kenric's cache memories, and in one of the memories, Orly and Kenric are at Elysian, and Kenric comments about how something seems off about the place, and Orly says, "Well, I suppose it's a little too quiet. You'd think a stream like this would be roaring at us for how fast it's flowing, but it sounds more like a trickling stream." And it says that Sophie strained her ears, but all she could make out was a faint gurgle, more like the sound a faucet would make. The interesting thing is in Prentice's mind in chapter 27 of Exile, Sophie comments how every sound felt distorted. So Kenric followed this river to find Elysian. We don't know how he found the river, but he followed a trail of evidence, but it was classified where he uncovered this information. But one of the sources said Whispering Rapids, which somehow led him to finding this place. Also, it mentions in the cache memory how Orly felt a tree leaf and it didn't crunch like a leaf normally should, so the sound was clearly a bit off. And it's interesting how Sophie commented that when she pushed her thoughts in Prentice's mind in Exile. Also, in Prentice's mind in Exile, it mentions there are trees and it mentions there are hills, and also we know that from chapter 46 of Stellarlune that Elysian is very hilly and also has trees there. One interesting thing from the cache memory is that Kenric sees these yellow butterflies, and he says, "See how they have red on their faces. I found a mention about that too. Butterflies kissed with red." And when Sophie's in Prentice's mind, she says that she sees butterflies with bright red lips. So that is very interesting. Prentice and Orly did try to collect a specimen of these butterflies, but they failed to do so. And later on in chapter 48, when Sophie and her friends are at Elysian with Vespra, Vespra washes away one of the illusions that she made a long time ago when the council commissioned her to basically hide whatever they were hiding so that no one could find it. Vespra was told to go all out. But then they uncover these jagged brown rocks. And then Morella pulls heat from one of these rocks to spark a flame, which she adds to the other layers of flame that she burnt the Nox flares with, and it reveals a gateway. Part 2.